Hello friends, welcome back to another session of Docker networking. So in the previous session we have done how to work with bridge network. We have seen how we can create the bridge network in Docker, how to connect the Docker container to that network, and how to communicate them. In this session we will learn about overlay network, how we will work with the overlay network. So since you have already read about the definitions of overlay network, overlay is multi-host network and work on multi-node cluster network. So create 3 or more EC2 instances. So since this overlay network works only on cluster architecture, your application should be running in a cluster, more than one nodes are there. It is okay if there is one node only, but to better understanding we must have at least 2 nodes or more than 2 nodes, then only we will understand how it is working over the cluster. Okay, so for that one, what we need to do, we need to create 3 EC2 instances. So go to your AWS and create them. So in our AWS we have already one instance we already have, that we have created in our last session. Okay, now we will go and we'll create two more instances we will create and we have to install Docker on this. Definitely we have to install Docker. Okay, so we will do that. So worker node 1 is there, so we will create 2 more instances now, worker node 2 and one is master. I will show you why we will keep the name as a master, but let me create first worker node 2. Okay, so give the name worker node 2. Okay, and you can select here the architecture. So Ubuntu 22.4, that is eligible for free tier. You can keep it, fine. And next, if you see, keep this architecture as a default 64-bit. This is free tier eligible, 1 GB RAM or 1 GB CPU is okay. Select the key pair, my pair. Okay, network, select the existing network that what we have created, my security group, you choose it. Okay, that's it. And launch instance, that's it. Very simple to create. In just few seconds, just few clicks only, you have created our EC2 instance. Okay, now go to instance. I think it's successfully launched. It's pending, status is pending, like it is starting. Let's wait, and once it will be started, we will connect with this worker node and we will install Docker first, because this is a new system, new machine, there is no Docker. So I have just copied the IP address and open the terminal here and connect with this one, SSH I my pair Ubuntu @ your IP address. That's it. Type yes. Now it will be connecting. Yes, it's connected. It is connected. Now if you see here, you see Ubuntu @ some IP address it is displaying here. I don't want. I have to change this name so that we will clearly understand from this terminal itself what is the name of that node. We can do that one. We can change the node of change the name of the node. How can you do it? Simply sudo host name, set host name, manager. Not this is, you want to make this manager. No, I don't want to make this manager. This is a worker node 2. this is worker 2, or you can use worker 2, worker 2, that's it, worker 2. Fine, just press enter. Now the name is changed. How you will see that name? Just you have to log out from here. Okay, then you have to again log in again. You will see the this IP address 172.30.143.86 will be changed to worker 2. Now you can see here, now this is the worker node 2. Clear it. Okay, now what we will do, we will install Docker. We have to install Docker. Okay, so there is that installation steps. Yeah, these are the installation steps for Docker. Okay, do it. Okay, then install the Docker from Docker.io. Installed. Then add group, I think you can skip it, it will automatically do, you don't need to do. Add this user mode, paste here, enter, that's it. Next, you can observe the version. Okay, observe the version. I think we need to log out and log in again. You have to log out, okay, and you need to log in again. Okay, now if you see the version, if you see the Docker version, yeah, full version is coming. Clear it. So this node is okay, this much only we have to do, because this is a fresh, there is nothing, like there is no image. If you see the Docker images, there is no image. There is Docker container, no volume, VOLUMELS, Docker volume list. There is no volume, no image, no volume, no container, and Docker NET network. Only the default network is there. Yes, only the default one, that's it. Okay, now we have to create another node and we have to install in that also. Okay, so go and create a new instance again. Okay, so give the name. This time name I am giving as a master or manager. Okay, that's it, or else give you uppercase MANA, manager node, that's it. Red Ubuntu is use Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu, and server is this, okay, 22.04, architecture 64-bit, 1 GB RAM, 1 CPU. Okay, T2 micro, fine. Login pair you can use this one, whatever we created, and for networking we have created the group, so you select that group, that's it, fine. And 8 GB storage, that's fine, and launch instance, that's it. Okay, it's launched successfully, and now it will be starting. Where is that? Why it is not here? It should be here. Let's refresh. I think it will load. Okay, so manager node, okay, yes. So one manager node, it is there running, two worker nodes we have. Okay, so connect with this manager node and install Docker here, because in worker node 1, in our last session we have already installed Docker. So I am not installing in this one. I will just start this one, but will not install Docker, because Docker is already there in worker node 1. In the last lab we have done. Worker node 2 and manager node we have created now. So in worker node 2 we have already installed Docker, but in worker node 2 there is no Docker, so we have to install it. Okay, so create here new and connect with this one, my pair Ubuntu, and the IP address, type yes, and that's it. Okay, first of all I will change this host name, because this host name again you will not understand, so that's why you need to update the host name also. Where is that command to update the host name? Manager, I want to set name as a manager. Okay, you can do it. Okay, log out and again log in. Once you log in back, you will see the name will be changed to manager. See why I am doing, because clearly you will understand in which terminal the command is executing. You have to be careful here, because currently 3 computers are there. Okay, that's why. Now install Docker. It is the Docker installation. Yes, update your system repository first. The very first step is to update the system repository. Okay, meanwhile I will copy the other command and okay, done. So sorry, here Docker installation is done. Now add user mode. Okay, paste it here. Then just log out once, log out and log in. Okay, log out and log in again, and see the Docker version. This is Docker. Okay, so successfully installed. In the manager node also it is successfully installed. In worker node 2 Docker is there, but there is no image, no container, nothing. Okay, clear it. Now we have one more node, that is worker node 1. Start this node also. We have to start it. So start this instance. So in this one Docker we no need to install. We just have to clean up the system wide we will run prune command, so that it will remove everything unused. That's the only thing that we have to do, because we will start from fresh. That's why. Oh, it is taking time to. Okay, up now, connect. So open new terminal and okay, connect here. SSH I my pair Ubuntu @ copy the IP address and just give yes. That's it. The name I think we have not changed, or we have changed it. No, we have to change the name. Okay, I'll change the name. How we can change? I think command we have here, sudo host name. This time this node is which one? No, worker 2. Sorry, worker 1. This node is worker 1, so it is done. Log out and again log in. Okay, so this is worker 1, this is worker 1, this is manager. Docker version, yes, there in worker 1 docker version. Sorry, docker is there. Okay, I think this is disconnected now. Okay, let's connect again. What happened? Why it is not connecting? Worker node 2 has to be connected, so copy it and I think you can close it if it's not working. Suddenly what happened? SSH I my pair ubuntu @ the IP address, it will be connecting. Okay, clear it. And docker version. So if you see here, docker is there in worker node 2, worker node 1 docker is also there, but in worker node 1 I think we can run system level prune, so that it will remove unused images, unused container, everything. Okay, so docker prune, system prune A, that's it. Yes, okay, it is deleted, the network is deleted, images are deleted because that is not longer used. Okay, so clear it now. Fine, docker version is there, you can see here now. Docker version 22.05, here also 22.05, 22.05, so all are there. Now here the first tab is our manager node, second one is worker node, third one is worker node 2, worker 1, worker 2, and this is a manager. So from manager we will fire the commands now. Worker node is used to create the containers only, we will not execute any other commands other than in the worker node. In the manager node we will execute some of the commands. And what is that commands? Like we will initiate the swarm. Now you will ask what is swarm? Swarm we will see in our next session, or else in the upcoming 1-2 sessions we will see thoroughly what is swarm. Currently you just understand, if we have to work with the overlay network, then in that case we must have a cluster, and cluster will be managed by your Docker swarm. If we have to understand the overlay network, in that case we must have a cluster of more than one computer. So currently we have 3 computers, 3 nodes, so cluster is there. To manage this cluster we need Docker swarm, and Docker swarm you will internally use overlay network, so we have to understand like that. So first thing, we have to initialize the swarm. Okay, so how will you initialize it? How will you initialize the swarm? It's very simple. Docker swarm init, you have to give IP address. IP address of what? IP address of your manager node. This is the IP address of your manager node that you have to give here. Okay, copy this and paste it, that's it. So you have to initialize this swarm, copy and paste. Sorry, what happened? No. Okay, paste it. So now the swarm is initialized. You will see swarm initialized. Current node is now a manager node. You can see this current node is manager node now, because swarm, if we have initialized it in manager only, we have not initialized swarm here. we have not initialized the swarm here, not in worker node 1 or not in worker node 2. We have not initialized swarm, we have initialized in manager only. So that manager node will be, this will be your manager node. Now you can check in this manager how many nodes are there, how many nodes are there, how can you see that, how you can see that, how many nodes are there. Docker node ls, simple, docker node ls. In this manager, under this manager, how many nodes are there? Under this manager, how many nodes are there? There is only one node. There is only one node whose name is manager, and that is ready. This is the IP address of that node. And availability active manager, yes, it's a manager. And engine version, the docker version it is. Okay, why the other worker node 1 and worker node 2 is not showing here? Because they are not joining this network, they are not joining this cluster. That node has to join the cluster. Here if you see when we initialized the swarm, it is clearly telling to add a worker to this swarm, to add worker node to this swarm, run the following command. This command you have to run where? You have to run on worker node 1 and worker node 2, so that the worker node will join the cluster. Okay, so I am going and I am executing. Yes, now it is telling this node joined a swarm as a worker. That's why we have given the name as a worker. This node name we have given as a manager. Why? Because this is working as a manager for all the nodes. That's why name itself I given as a manager, so that you will clearly understand from the terminal itself where we are executing the command. So in our manager, if you see, in our manager we are initializing the swarm. In our manager we are initializing the swarm, and from the worker we are just joining that swarm cluster. So we have joined. Now if you see how many nodes are there, there will be two nodes. Now you see there are two nodes now. One manager it is there, one worker is there. So total two nodes are there in this cluster now. Similarly, the other commands, you copy this command, better you copy this command. We will see this one later, how we will get if we forgot this one. Currently this command is there in this terminal, so we can see. Better to keep this in notepad somewhere else, so that later you also some other node you are creating, that node if you want to join you can use, but you can get it from the manager also later if you forgot, no issue. Currently just I am copying this one and I am going to join the worker node 2 also. So worker node 2 also has joined this command, joined this swarm network. Now if you run the same command in the manager and you see how many worker nodes are there. So total 3 nodes are there, 2 worker, 1 manager. Worker node 1 and worker 1 and worker 2 are the nodes that has joined this swarm cluster. Correct? Okay, so now we have a cluster ready. Our cluster is ready. Our cluster is of 3 computers. 3 computers are there in one cluster. 3 computers are there in one cluster. And if you see how many networks are there, so far have you created any network? You have just initialized the swarm, you have not created the network. So go and check how many networks are there in manager. So you see the default bridge, host and none are the default. Ingress and bridge they have created. Ingress is overlay. Ingress network, the name they have given as a ingress. Name of that network is ingress and the driver is overlay. Docker GW bridge, that is also created by your container now. So whenever you are initializing the swarm, these 2 networks are creating by the swarm. Swarm is creating these 2 network, overlay and bridge. This bridge internally is used by ingress. because each node will have a container. That container want to communicate, they will use bridge GW bridge, Docker GW bridge. If the communication has to be made outside the host machine, then ingress network will be used. So these two are created by the SWAM, and the same network is created on worker node also. Yes, you see it's there in worker node 1 is there, and in worker node 2 also it is there. Yes, see, both are there. Okay, so far what we have seen, we have initialized the SWAM cluster and we have joined the SWAM cluster from the worker node 1 and worker node 2, and we have seen what is the default network it is creating. Name of the default overlay network is ingress, and bridge and Docker bridge GW bridge also we have created. Now the next thing what we have to do, we have to pull the image. There is any image is there in that, we can do one thing, we can pull the image here, worker 1, worker 2, we can pull the images. Currently in manager, if you see here in worker 1, there is no image, there is no image, and worker 2 also images, no image, and in the manager also no image, and we are also not pinging the pulling the image, because if we pull images manually, we have to pull in all. I don't want. The manager will manage automatically. How it will manage? Let's try and see. So we have done this one. I am just going to create a service. See here. Now you understand what is the meaning of this statement. Whatever I am currently selecting, line number 563. Docker service create my web app service. This is a service name, replica 5, and network my network, and this is the image. So by default, if I will create any container, and I don't specify the network name, then which network will be used? You don't focus much on this Docker service now, because this service is nothing but it will create the five container. That's it. Replica 5 means 5 container it will create, and 5 container it will create from which image? From this image. That's it. From this image. What will be the service name? This is the service name. What will be the network? This is the network that it will use. But whether this my network is there? No, it is not there. So what you have to do, if you try it first, copy that and paste it. Do it in manager will automatically do. See, network, my network not found, network is not there. So what you can do, either you remove this this network, then it will take which one? Ingress network. If you see, this ingress network is there, created by your SWAM. If you don't specify the network name, it will use this ingress, but I am specifying, so it means the network should be there. So what I will do, I am going to create network first, create the network, and I am modifying the subnet and gateway also. 50 40 00 60, 50 40 001. I am doing that one also. So copy that and create the network. So network is created. If you list that network is created, my networks, and this network is created in worker node 1 and worker node 2 also. Is it created? See, go and check. It is not created. Whenever the requirement will be coming, it will create. Currently it's not created. It is doing lazily. See, this is a lazily it is doing. Whenever the requirement will be coming, manager will tell to create the network named my network, the network will be created in worker node 1 and worker node 2 automatically. So when it will do, when it will tell, when we will create the service, when we will create the service is nothing but simply, you understand like that, service is nothing but that helps to create containers, more than one container from the image. That's it. That is the use of service. Here I want to create 5, instead of creating one by one, it is very difficult, very difficult. Suppose 5 container I want, then what can I do? What can I do? One container I can create in manager, 2 container I can create in worker node 1, 2 container I can create in worker node 2. I don't want do manually, I want a simplified approach. From the manager itself I will create, and it will be created across the cluster. Okay, you cannot decide like in worker node 1 it should be 2, worker node 2 it should be 3, in worker node there should be no. It will automatically do the load balancing, in which one it will pick automatically, and the best algorithm it will use, and it will create the cluster container. So go and see how it will be working. So simply I am just creating, copy it. Image I am taking a type latest, you can take any specific version also, but I am taking a latest one. Okay, simply paste it and see what will happen. So now you can observe the console overall process 0 out of 5 tasks. 5 tasks means 5 container has to be created across the cluster. In this cluster 3 computers are there, across 3 computers 5 container has to be created. Across the cluster 5 container has to be created from web app image. So it is doing that only. Across the cluster means how many nodes are there in this cluster? 3 nodes are there in this cluster. One is worker node 1, worker 2, worker 1, worker 2, 2 are there, and one is manager. So total 3 are there. Now it is saying verify service covered, so all are created. This is successfully done, completed and running. You can see. How will you see? Just simply you have to execute here docker ps, that's it. So it will tell how many containers are running. 1 container only. How? But we are saying to create 5 containers now. Then why it is 1? Others are created in worker node 1 and worker node 2. Go and check docker ps. See, 2 containers are there. And now if you see docker docker network, so network is also there, my network, it's created now. That is a lazy initialization it is doing. And now how many containers are there? 2 are in worker node 1, 1 is there in manager. Total 3, total are 5, 3 are created so far. You see, 2 created in worker 1, 1 created in manager, and remaining 2 is created here. Docker ps, type ps, and 2 is created here. You can see here it's created. And if you see the image, the network is also created, my network. Now because this internally now we are using my network. Fine. Okay, if you want to see how many total containers are there in manager total 1 container is there, because this is local, docker ps is local. I want to see in overall cluster how many containers are there. How can you see that? So that we can see using docker service ps my web service. You have to tell the service name. In this service how many containers are there? In this service how many containers are there? So docker service ps, you have to use docker service ps, then you have to give the service name. What is the service name? Tell me. Docker service ps, and service name is my web app service. This is the name of service. Copy that, paste it here, and see. Now you can see total 5 containers are there across the network, and this container 2, worker node 1 2 container, worker 2 container, and manager has a 1 container, and this is the ID of that container and name, everything. Yes, you can see very clearly, you can see. That's it. Is there any error? No error. Fine. So what we have to do next? What we have to do next? We have to check the communication now. We have to check the communication between the containers. Can we do it? How we will do it? How can you do it? Simply suppose go to worker node 1 and clear this console, and I want docker ps. Okay. So from this container I want to ping the container that is running in worker 2. Clear this one, docker ps. Okay, so in this one 2 containers are there. I want to ping from this container to worker node 2 container. Can you do it? For that one, what you need? You need the IP address. How will you get it? How will you get it? So but before to that one you have to install. So first you enter into the container, copy docker containers exec it name you can use, or you want to use id, you can use id. Okay, id bin bash. You entered into the container. Okay, and now you want to ping the container of worker node 2. Can you do it? Yes, you can do, but you must have IP address. But before to IP address, I think you need to install the software in this, because this is a Slim OS. Similarly, how we have done in our last session, we have to do it. So yes, we have to install these two first. Copy it and install that. This one and this one. Paste it. Okay, clear it. Show IP addr show. It will show the IP address. IP address is this one. No, this one, 50.40.0.6. So go to inspect the network, docker network ls. I'm just going to inspect the network, because in this network how many containers are there in this machine it will show, and it will show the IP address also. So docker network inspect my network. It's inspecting. Okay, so total how many containers are there? You see here how many are there? 2 containers are there, but why it is telling 3 containers? One is load balancer container, load balancer. We will see this one after this one, after this point, after pinging successfully. We will see this one. What is load balancer? This is one container, leave it. These 2 containers that is there is created, and the IP address, suppose I want to ping to this one, so now this container is running in worker 2, but I am pinging from worker 1. How can I do it? Simple, ping C5 and give IP address. Yes, it's pinging successfully. You can see here successfully it is pinging. It means it will ping from the worker node 2 to worker node 1 also, or it will ping from the manager to worker node 1, or vice versa. Yeah, it will do. You try that. You enter into any container. Suppose you enter into the worker node 2 in this container. You enter, and then you want to ping to worker node worker 1 container. You can do that one. It's pinging. See, there is received 0% loss. It's okay. Okay, so that's why like that you can ping from the one container to another container also over the overlay. And you see the containers here are not running in a single machine. The containers are running across the cluster. Some are there docker ps, some are running in worker 2, some are running in worker 1 or worker 2. Some two containers are running on worker 1, 2 containers are running on worker 2, and one container is running on oh, it's disconnected no, okay, connect it. Why is it only disconnecting? Okay, so docker ps, so one container is running in manager, one container is running in worker, or two containers is running in worker 1 and 2 container is running in worker 2, and one is running on manager 1. That's it. And you can ping any of them, enter into the container, install the pinging support software, and ping with the IP address, get the IP address by inspecting network. That's it. Okay, now next thing, if you see observe the IP address, how will you observe the IP address? Docker network ls, sorry, docker network network ls, some problem, docker network ls. So I am just inspecting this one, copy docker network inspect this network. So you will see the IP address is 50.40.0.5 50.40.0.5, and the IP address here if you see, this is load balancer. I will show you what is the use of this load balancer. Just observe the IP address only, focus on IP address now, leave this LB stand for load balancer, my network load balancer. That's it. I will show you what is the use of this one. So currently you see there are two containers, and containers IP address is 50.40.0.6, 50.40.0.3, and here 50.40.0.5, 5, 3, 6, and here if you see 50.40.0.4 and 50.40.0.7, 7, 4, 7, 3, 6 and 5. Some IP address it is reserving for this one, like 10, 8, 9, and this load balancer also taking some IP address. Now see what is the use of load balancer. First question, how will you access the application? Tell me. Application is running across the cluster now. Application is running across the cluster. How will you access? Tell me. Have you any idea? If you know that, write me in the comment section. I want to access my application from the browser. How can I do it? Tell me. If I will access, then which container I will access? Tell me. If I want to access which node, first I will access which node, and which node which container, because so many containers, 5 containers are running across 3 computer. In 3 computer 5 nodes, it means in 3 computer 5 instance of my web app application running. My web app application 5 instances are running on 3 computer. Which one I will access? So I will show you one magic here now. Copy any IP address. Either suppose I will copy worker node 1. Go copy IP address of worker node 1, the public IP. Go to your browser, paste here and type the port, whatever the port that you are using. What is the port? 5050 I think. No, or 4040. Let me see what port number we used actually. Docker ps 5050 only. Okay, 5050 or 4040? You map the to which one? 4040, not 4040 also. Okay, go to worker node 2, copy the IP address 5050, not accessible. What happened? Okay. If you open the manage worker node, copy the worker node 5050, is not there. I think the port, have we used any port? No, this is a bridge network. Which command we copied? I think we have not done any port mapping, I think. Overlay and oh, sorry, actually the port mappings are not there. What can we do in this case? We can delete the service. Suppose now the next thing, we have seen how we can communicate. That was our purpose here. We have seen that one. Okay, I want to delete all the containers. How can I do it? Is it feasible that every container I will kill one by one from worker 2, worker 1, worker 2, manager? No, that is not the way how you should do in real time. Because suppose this cluster, this is a cluster of 3 nodes. But suppose if it is a cluster of 100 node, across the 100 cluster, across the 100 network node, 1000 containers are running. How will you do it? For that purpose, Swan is using service. You just remove the service, create the service like that. That's it. So what I will do, I will remove the service. Okay. So go to, I think it is not there. Okay, so the remove command is very simple. Docker service servic service ls, list the service. How many services are there? These many services. And in these service, how many replicas are there? 5 replicas. Means 5 replica means 5 containers has to be created across the cluster. That is the meaning of 5. So 5 divided by 5 means 5 are required, 5s are running. Okay, so simply you just remove this one. Docker service remove, and all the docker, sorry, Docker spelling is doc. Yes, now it is removed. If it is removed, you see Docker ps, there is no container. Here also Docker ps, no container. Here also Docker ps, no container. All containers are destroyed very easily with the help of single command. You can do it. Now what I will do, I will export the port also, so that we will access from the browser and we will see how it is happening. Okay, network is this one, and the port mapping is 50502 5050. This is the way, no? I think it's correct only. Let's see. Yes, it is correct only. 5050 same I am using, and I am creating a service now. Okay, go to your manager, paste here and create. Yes, it is creating now. 5 tasks out of 5 it is creating. Now again you see Docker ps, Docker ps. So 2, this time in manager 2 container, and in worker no container, and here also no container. Why? What happened? Oh, sorry, it is disconnected. Clear it and clear it. I think it is disconnected, that's why. Connect it. Clear. Automatically sometime it is disconnecting. Leave it, not a problem. Connect this one. Okay, so this is worker 1, this is worker 2. Now see, docker ps. Okay, one container is there in worker 1. Docker ps, 2 containers. So total how many are there? 5. 2 containers are running in worker 2, 1 container is running in worker 1, and 2 containers is running in manager. Okay, now that we have seen already how we will communicate. We will enter into the container and we will try to ping by the IP address. You can try for other nodes also. Successfully it should be done. Okay, now the next question, the very important question is, how will you access the application? And if you access the application, then which container you will access? In worker, in manager node, 2 containers are running. In worker, 1 container is running. In worker 2, 2 containers are running. So which one? How will you access it? I will see the IP address also. Docker network inspect my network. That's it. Inspect it. So how many containers are there? 2 containers are there in this one. Okay, 2 containers are there. IP address is 5040.016, 5040.013. Okay, for worker 1 container, IP address 5040.014. For worker 2 containers, IP address is 5040.012 and 5040.015. That's it. Now the question is, how will you access the application? So you just see the magic, one magic. I think the same only IP address. Okay, but close it once. So go to your manage worker node 1 now and copy the public IP and access the application. What is the port that you are exporting? 5050. You see, application you are accessing. But tell me, which container is fulfilling the request? Tell me. Currently, which is that IP address? That IP address I have taken from worker node 1. From worker node 1 I have taken the IP address, that 108.66.94 I have taken. Okay, and in worker node 1, how many containers are there? In worker node 1 there is only 1 container. And what is the IP address of that one? 50.40.0.14. Understand? You are following me? Follow me so that you will clearly understand what happening. I am taking the public IP address of the worker node 1 and I am accessing the application from the browser. Correct? And how many containers are running in worker 1? How many containers are running in worker 1? In worker 1 there is only 1 container for my web app is running, and that IP address is 50.40.0.4. okay, now go and check in browser. In browser you see the IP address is the same that is there in the worker node 1. In worker node 1 if you see, the IP address is different. See, now you tell me what happening. See, in worker 1 if you see here, simply just I will somewhat minimize. Yes, now you see what is the IP address? What is the IP address of worker 1? The IP address of worker 1 is 50.40.0.14, but the request is taken by 50.40.0.12. Where is this container? This container will be either in manager or in network. This container is not there in worker 1, but the IP address that we are accessing from the browser is worker 1. but in worker 1 this container is not there. So where is this container? Go and check. In worker 2 check, is there? Yes, in worker 2 it is there, you see. And what is the name of what is the ID? So 23E864212E. Yeah, this is the host name. Yes. So now who is fulfilling the request? Tell me. Request is fulfilled by worker 2, but you are accessing worker 1. That is nothing but load balancing. This is happening because of this container. Downside, if you see, one container is there, load balancer, LB my network, load balancer is there. This load balancer application is doing all this one. If you see in worker 1 also there is a load balancer. You see there is a one container load balancer. In manager also, if you see, there is a load balancer. So wherever, either suppose I will use my worker node 2, copy this IP address and access the application 5050. Yes, now you see which container is fulfilling the request. 15. Which is the 15? 15 is not there in yes, it is there in worker 2. Yes, it is there in worker 2, so it is fulfilling. Go and do for master also. Copy the master node IP address. Master node IP address also you copy. The third one is the master node IP address 5050. Yes, it's fulfilling. First, so this last I am just rearranging the tab. First tab is from master from manager node. This is a manager node IP address. You see 13.233.27.181. Yes, master. This is worker 1 for worker 1, and this is worker 2. Worker master node server, worker 1 and worker 2. So if you access the master, then which container is fulfilling the request? Go and check. 116 in IP address. Yes, 116 is there, so it's fulfilling. Next time if you refresh it, go and refresh. Yeah, it's same. Try refreshing more time. Try more. The request will be redirected to, sometime it will be redirected to other also because of load balancing. You have to try more. I think it will. It depends. Which one it will pick. Okay, let me try for other one. So currently the request is fulfilled from container 3, but we are accessing container worker 2. Okay, refresh it and see whether it is changing or not. What happened? Yes, okay, it's changed. You see, which one is this IP address? Worker 1, no, from worker 2 only 20. Before it was fulfilling from 15, now it's fulfilling for 20. See, okay, and go and refresh this also. Yes, again it is changed. You see, before it was 50.40.012, now it is 14. See, now 14 is where? It is in worker 1, but this IP address is worker 2. So this is nothing but the load balancing. Try this one now. Manager is mostly picking that one, but it will not be like that. It will definitely ping. It will take others also. Okay. Currently this system there is no load in the containers. If there is a more load on the container, then it will manage the load. Suppose in container 1, in one node there is a more load, it will go for the who has a less load. So that is nothing but load balancing. Currently there is no load, so that's why request is going for the same container, but it definitely will go for other also. If you see, now it's changed, and if you refresh here, I think it is also changed. Yes, it is changed. See, okay, it will change like that. Okay, so this is nothing but the load balancing. What happened with this one? Okay, see, it's working. Okay, 16. 16, 16, 16. There is no load, that's why it is request is taken by the same container, but definitely it will be changing when load will be more. That is nothing but the load balancing. Internally there are multiple computers are running, and across the multiple computer multiple containers are running, and that is fulfilling the request. Okay, so this is nothing but the load balancing. Let's try once. Anyway, it should change. Try control plus F5, otherwise it will take from the cache. Same, it will not go to the request, will not go to the server sometime. So it is better to do control F5. Not doing. It is doing, but currently the load is not there, that's why it is not doing. See, updated now. Before it was 12, now it's 15. So it will do like that. Try more in your. Okay, try with your own system multiple time. It will definitely, you will see. Okay, same only it is. Okay, manager, as I think manager currently what is our content, our EC2 instance 1 GB RAM only, 1 CPU, that's why it is doing like that. It is structing because the configuration is small. Generally if in your server application the configuration will be more, so it will not work like that, it will smoothly will work. Currently just we are learning, that's why we have taken the one CPU and 1 GB RAM only. So that's why, and in that 1 GB also we have initialized the SWAM, that's why the master node is taking a load, it is slowly processing, but worker node 1 and 2 is working very much fine. Okay, yes, see, now it is changed. Before it was 15, now it's 14. So it is happening load balancing. This is the concept of load balancing. Okay, so like that you can use the overlay network. Okay, so this is all about the overlay network across the computers. See, manager, we have one manager that will manage the worker node. Worker node can be n number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 100, 1000. N number of worker can join the cluster, and across the cluster your manager will distribute the work. How many container has to created in this one, it will your SWAM manager will check on the basis of the configuration, on the basis of load, and automatically will create the container on appropriate node. That's it. Okay, so this is the how you, this is the topic, that how will you work with overlay network. Okay, VLAN or IP VLAN, you just try. I will just show you here. We are not doing this in lab, not required, because it's a legacy one, no one is using. Simply, it's very simple. In legacy one, take one other node. This is your cluster, or is okay, it's okay, don't initialize SWAM here. Simply create another EC2 instance and deploy directly that one application in that one legacy. Okay, don't install any Docker on this node 2, and try to ping with the from the container with the help of IP address of this machine. That's it. That is nothing but the MAC VLAN or IP VLAN. But you have to create the MAC VLAN or IP VLAN network type, and that you have to use in the container. While creating the container, you have to connect with that IP VLAN network, then try to communicate. It will successfully done. Okay, that is only yeah, steps are I have given here. I will show you. I'm just slowly scrolling, you just try. Okay, that's it. Next is Docker Composer. We will see in our next session what is Docker Composer. Okay, so I hope you like this session. Please subscribe my channel, and we will see you in the next session. Thank you and have a nice day.